Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danielle, if you don't already know, and this is the cozy corner of the internet that I talk about books because I just love them. So thanks for being here. Now today I'm going to be talking about something that might spark a little bit of a debate, or not, because it's kind of dated, but I still enjoy it, so I wanted to chat about it. And if you clicked on the video, you already know I'm talking about Twilight. Now, Twilight has been memified. There's so many videos that are done on it. It is just a cultural phenomenon. I am in the Gen Z millennial cusp of generation, and so this was very prominent in my development, I feel like, especially because I was in the book sphere, in the movie sphere. What kind of prompted me to do this video? We're doing a comparison of the book and the movie because I think the movie just falls short of the actual magic that is in the book. Now, disclaimer, I don't actually think that this is some like amazing, incredible book. It still has its issues, but for the era that it was published in, I enjoyed it. I mean, obviously my brain hadn't fully developed and there's other problematic things that happen, but I just want to dive in because there's so much nostalgia that is wrapped up in Twilight, especially in this season, because my husband likes to call it's Hoa season, which that is also getting memified, which I love. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive right in and chat about the 5 ways that I think the Twilight movie just doesn't hold a candle to the actual book. Now, number 1, Bella's inner thoughts. Now, I know this is kind of hard to judge the movie on, but I'm still going to. I know that most movies you can't. There's that internal dialogue that happens in a book that you just do not get in a movie, and the actor has to portray it on screen. And I know that Kristen Stewart has had a lot of backlash on how awkward she was, but I actually think she's a great actress. She's been in so much, and so honestly, I don't know if it was just, what were they trying to get with direction of this film? I think an actor or actress can really do a phenomenal job, but a lot of it has to do with how they're led, so their director. And I'm not saying that necessarily the directors were bad in any of the movies, I just don't know if it clicked with Kristen Stewart and how Bella Swan was truly supposed to be portrayed. Because in Bella's thoughts, you just get more of her thought process behind things and how she gets to a certain point, because so many things are just so awkward and you're not getting those inner monologues with the movie. So I just really think that the movie falls short there. I think most movies kind of tend to fall short there. I think this is especially important in Twilight because one of the key things that everyone talks about as a criticism is the development of the love story. And in her inner thoughts, you can tell the passage of time easier. You can tell how she's feeling towards Edward, and it's just more nuanced than I feel like what the screen portrays. So up next is Edward's backstory and kind of the vampire lore. This is another one that is hard to judge a movie on, but I will, because there are movies who do a really great job of explaining these kinds of things, whether that's a unique way of exposition or just different moments that might not have happened in the book, but they create it in the movie so that they can still get that depth. And it really struggled. They just don't include, there's definitely moments where they touch on it. They talk about Carlisle and a little bit of the Volturi and different stuff, but there's just not that depth. And I think the book just does such a better job explaining the different characters and the dynamics within the characters. If you stop at Twilight, you don't understand the characters, but especially Emmett. He's just some hulky dude. But in the book, he has so much more care. I just think that Twilight really missed the mark on being able to explain more of the lore, more of the backstory. And they take what is possibly from just the first book and they spread it out over a couple of the movies and drop things in when it is relevant. So I don't know. I think they missed the mark there. Number 3, the vampire's abilities and powers. So it's funny because in the final movie, you have all these vampires coming together that all have their own powers, and my husband likes to call it the vampire X-Men, and I think that's hilarious, and that's always what I think about when I talk about the powers in Twilight. But the powers in Twilight, the vampire abilities, are so much more described in the book, and there's the whole theory of Carlisle even believes that everyone brings something into the afterlife, well, the vampire life, anyways, like his compassion and Rosalie's tenacity, pigheadedness or whatever, and like Emmett's strength. So they don't really go into that as deep in the movies, and I feel like it's at a loss. Like Alice's visions are such a big part of the book, and they direct so much of it, and there's the different stuff that comes around. Like they knew that that James and his crew was coming, but in the movie you don't know that. And so there's just so many different things that happen in the books around the powers that they could have used much better. As all of this, they could have just used it much better. Number 4, Bella's friends in school life. This is just another thing that's like pressed for time, but they speed up the friendships, the human friendships, so much. Like there is such a gap between her and Edward in the book, and that in that time she's developing those friendships, she's really getting to know people, and there's this like actual claim that some of those boys have on her, or they think they have a claim of, and that just doesn't happen in the movie. Like you don't understand why Mike might be a little possessive. You don't understand Angela or Jessica to the extent, like they are true friends and they are people who get to know each other, and there's just so much more that adds to it in the book, and the movie just like does not capture it. It is solely Edward and Bella. It has nothing to do with Bella's humanness. And even the school, like I know it's kind of boring to like watch school stuff, but the like classroom setting, there's definitely more that happens, or I feel like that are explained more so. The conversations between even Jessica and Bella happen within the classroom setting a lot, and the teachers, and I know it's like you don't want to pay the actors, but it makes it feel like it is more a high school romance like story, and that's a big part of it. So yeah, I just think it doesn't capture the same like essence of like Bella's age and where her life stage is, that the movie tries to portray. And then lastly, the meadow scene. Now this is an iconic scene in both the movie and the book, but they're different. The way they go about it is so different. The lead up to it is so different. In the book, Edward is basically saying like, I might kill you. Like truly, I might kill you. Whereas in the movie, it's just, oh yeah, we're gonna go here, and like it's dangerous. Oh no, I can hurt you. You can't outrun me. Da da da. Whatever. Like the classic, you can't. Him moving around the meadow like a weirdo with their terrible early 10s CGI that was happening. Anyways, there's so much more weight to it in the book, and it just the weightiness of it is not transposed into the movie at all to me. And even the level of the emotional chargedness, like Bella truly understands the vulnerability that she has in the book, and like this is the moment where she first is really scared of Edward, which is valid because if you look at it, he is a vampire, she is a human, and he has a like desire to kill her and wanted to kill her, and because of her scent, which is weird, and there's some drug allegories which I don't love, but anyways, it's a very iconic moment and such a pivotal moment, and although it is iconic in the movie, it's just scratches the surface of why it's such an important part of the story. So it just kind of, again, misses the mark. All right, that was my 5, and I mentioned this kind of at the beginning, and I want to just reiterate it here that movies can't always adapt a book well. TV shows cannot always adapt a book well. There's so much that happens in literature, and I totally hold space for that. This is just a fun video for me to complain about why I think that Twilight isn't actually horrible, but if you just watch the movie, you probably think it is, which I understand. And also, the book isn't amazing. There's some problematic things, but there's definitely nostalgia. And I understand that movies only have so much time to convey the message, and I think it is very apparent with Twilight that this was the case. Like, it was a thick book. There's a lot that happens, and movies just can't always capture that. So I totally understand that. And at the end of the day, if you love the movie, you hate the movie. You love the book, you hate the book. It's okay. Like, I'm not going to yuck your yum. Enjoy what you enjoy. That's totally fine. There's nothing hurting anyone else about you enjoying Twilight. And I enjoy Twilight, and it's a little cringy to say that out loud sometimes, but I do. It's so much fun. And it brings me back to mindset of when I was young and enjoyed reading, and that was one of the first like big series and phenomenons that was happening, a very like pivotal age for me when it came to literature. And I can't fault the movie, because at the end of the day, it allowed Twilight to be so successful. It allowed so many people to enjoy it and to have fun and have a space to just have a good time, to be Team Edward or Team Jacob, which you should drop which one you were below and which one you are now, because I feel like they've changed over time. But anyways, it can't be all that bad because it brought so many people to love it. And that is all I have for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts if you thought any of the points that I brought up were just not correct, or if you have something else that comes to mind when you think about the differences. I would love to hear if you were Team Edward or Team Jacob, because I definitely was Team Edward as a kid, and I feel like I'm Team Jacob as an adult. Yeah. Fight me in the comments. Just kidding, don't fight me, I'll cry. And if you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, all the YouTube things. I plan on posting a video every Thursday, so check me out next week, and I will see you then.